Dear, oh
Yeah,
dear,
that's
oh dear.
important.
Thanks, Jeff. What a disaster. We've got four great guests here to go through it. So I'll just find the intro button and then we'll start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Man United agenda on a very, very unhappy and sombre evening. Tonight, I'm joined by Mr. B, Stuart, and Jeff. And as you can see, it's a laugh a minute here tonight. First of all, let's say hello to Solo. How are you? How are you, Solo? I hope you're good. Zoe's Media House is in the house today, and Wildlife Machine talking about ONANA. Now, I think we'll get on. Happy birthday, Box. I think we'll get on to ONANA a little bit later. I'd like to start with our guest from America, Jeff, just to give us a rundown of what you thought happened this evening and like where this sets. Where do we go from here?
Okay, so like everybody's been talking about, I didn't see a pattern of play. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, not at the end. I saw too many looped over balls that were kick and praise. It's like we're back to kick and chase. I've seen U15 teams set up better with more diagonal play. So I don't know what the game plan is. And like everybody knows, Bruno's my favorite player, and I wanted him hauled off after 20 minutes.
Okay, Stuart.
Well, going back to Jeff, I don't think there was a game plan, Jeff. I'm just lost for words by half time now. When Galatasaray scored the third, I was just laughing. I'm done with it all at the moment, to be honest. Hence why I gave my ticket away tonight. I've seen enough.
And Mr. B, you ray of sunshine.
I'm numb. Bath time. I didn't have the glory of seeing the Crystal Palace performance, and once we lost, I chose not to watch it. Today, we have serious problems with this football team. We've scored first in a few games, but all I was saying on the watch was, please just let us survive 10-20 minutes and get another goal. What do? We concede as soon as we call. The team is too soft. Bath time, man. It's too soft, and right now I believe Ten Hag is the right guy. I don't think that in my mind there's no question. But the players that ONANA could end up costing him his bloody job, and he cost 50 mil. And this is the part that's worrying me. The Brunos, they weren't his players. The Rashfords, they're not his players. But the players that he bought, has he really made a rick? Has he really made a rick with signing this goalkeeper?
Possibly. I mean, we're going to go through the comments now, but when we come back, I'm going to ask all of you why we're conceding so quickly after goals. Give you a bit of time to come up with an answer. So first of all, we got Solo saying he'll keep saying it that Ten Hag made a mistake by getting rid of De Gea. Big T is saying don't put a positive spin on this bollocks. He wants the meat, and he wants the meat raw tonight. And then Andrew Williams is asking how I've got the nerve to show up here again tonight. With Matthew Bassett, hello Matthew, and he's asking everyone, please big up the show, and hello everyone. And then Acers, Brentford, next loss because United's defence and keeper are completely, utterly garbage. Andrew's back. After the amount of shit you gave David De Gea over the last 2 years, I thought you'd be in hiding. No, I always stand up for stuff, and we can talk about that when we get to Onana. Matthew Bassett saying hit like and subscribe, which would be very nice. Alex Tootle is saying it's unfortunate, but Onana cost us that game. And Flex Felix is saying what coaches are available. I feel very sorry for all of those guys that are on coaches coming back, having watched that tonight. Zoe's Media House, should I even mention Bruno? Shambles. And then just a few more. Solo is saying the club's going backwards. Bring back Fred. We have no system, still waiting for this Ten Hag football. And then Pipes is here.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is one guy. He's such a bitch.
Is he? Yeah. Well, he's saying you have to drop Onana. What's my name? And then Cole. Onana couldn't catch a cold. Our team has no connection. It's a bunch of individuals playing together. So 21 in chat. Give the guys a like, and we'll finish with Andrew saying, Rashford and Bruno, as I called all summer long, we're going to break our hearts again. They are shithouses. They go missing when we really need them. Stats merchants. And hello, UK strains. Okay. So, performances, which is a very generous way of describing some of the things that were going on that pitch tonight. Stuart, let's start with you. Is there anything positive? And to get back to the question about why are we conceding within minutes of scoring?
Excuse me. To be honest, the only positive from tonight is the performance of Rasmus Højlund. I mean, immense performance. And if he carries on playing like that, I think we're losing him in the summer, to be honest. But why are we conceding goals? Well, Onana. I mean, I was quite happy when we signed him, but I think he's got to be benched for his own sake. What's the Turkish guy we signed? Is it Bayinda? Is that his name? Give him a chance. You can't just blame everything on Onana. Personally, I would have played Johnny Evans tonight, but obviously I'm not Erik ten Hag. But I don't know anymore by half time. But that's, I think, why we're conceding goals, because obviously Reguilon's out, Martinez out. It's no excuse. I mean, the reason these top boys, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, the reason they do well, they've got a good squad. We've got a good squad, but not as good. So who knows? I don't know anymore.
Okay, so you're putting it on Onana and injuries.
Yeah, I'm putting it on Onana and injuries. He needs to. When you go to the games, you see more, and you watch certain players. Yeah, he's good with the ball at his feet. I'd still prefer De Gea all day long. A lot of people might laugh at that, but I would.
Not tonight, I don't think they will. Mr. B.
Not tonight, no.
Why you're a manager? Why are we conceding goals? Like just straight after the kickoff? What is this?
The team. Okay, Onana. I think he's the confidence that he thought he was bringing to the team, he's not bringing to the team. He seems like a very outspoken kind of guy. You need to earn the right to have a big mouth. At the moment, they're probably looking at him thinking, what the F is this guy doing? As I said, he cost us 50 mil. He wasn't cheap. It's not Bayinda who cost 6 million or 15. It was a third of the budget that we had for our summer signings. And it's not just today that he's cost us. But today, especially the pass that he played to Casemiro, it was suicide. He's now made Casemiro miss the next game. And then obviously the guy missed the penalty. But even for the third goal, I think he made it too easy. I think he made it too easy for him. You always give players who come to the club, you always give them the chance. You always give them, the benefit of the doubt. He's been here. He's played 7 games for us, and I have no doubt that we've made a mistake signing Onana. Regardless of the price, if he was 10 million, he would still be making the same mistakes. I really think we've made a mistake in signing Onana.
Wow. Okay, Jeff, just before we come to you, I'm going to go through the comments because there's a lot going on in the comments. And they're kind of like our fifth guest. So Andrew Williams is saying, anyone want to dig out the messages I posted on this channel calling ONANA the Black Bartes? And I was widely laughed at. We all remember you posting that talking about ONANA being Bartes. I don't know if you were laughed at, but you definitely did say that. Big T, I'm not joking when I say we need Big Sam and fast.
It's not that bad.
Well, who knows? And then Pipes is just saying, "What's up, my brother from another Mr. B?" I'm not sure that that's the correct expression. Bilal, you can't fault Rasmus. I don't think anyone will have anything bad to say about Rasmus tonight. He should have announced himself to the world with that performance. And then Arsharma is saying, Ten Hag, get out of my beautiful club. And he's praying. Big T, we conceded within minutes because the players have no bollocks and Nana has no desire to make a save. Alex Tootle is calling for youth players to come in. Colm, Heath has to take the blame as well. He's setting the team up and coaching them, which I think is a good point. Andrew's been nice to me, so we'll skip past that. Varane needs an upgrade in about 12 months. Yeah, and I mean Andrew's a big fan of Varane, but he was appalling this evening. So I'm just gonna stop it there and come to Jeff. So Jeff, what are you thinking, mate?
I've seen it the last 3 times we've scored first, and it's the same. It happens every time. As soon as they kick off, we go on the counter, and we get caught. We play a short ball. They play a long ball to whoever their up man is. Tonight it was Zaha. He gets 1-on-1 with Dallo, and Onana was in no man's land. Again, when you're almost into the 6th, he should be on his line, and he wasn't. And he just flapped at the ball. But, again, that space, you could drive both coaches through that space that's being created behind our mid and our defenders. And again, with 2 defenders back, we're 1-on-1 a lot after we score first.
Yeah, I think that's a very good assessment of what's going on. It appears like, in my opinion, taking Hannibal off, I don't think he had a great game, but replacing him with Ericsson means that there's no midfield tracker like protecting the space in between the fullback and the centre back. And I mean, we can talk about the goals individually, but the goal, the third goal, the one that came from the throw in, like that's an all round disgraceful goal. Amrabat, I thought, was really poor all the time tonight, and Lindelof. I think I think it's time for Maguire to come back in. Like, Mr. B, no, the only clean sheet we've had is with Maguire.
Do you know what? You know what? People talking about. Do people forget how shit Maguire was and how much fucking mistakes he made and cost us last season? Now all of a sudden, because he's not playing, he's turned into this great player. He's still shit half time. But
is he worse than what Lindelof is putting in? Like, Lindelof has been manhandled in games. He got manhandled by Mario Icardi, like who's
shorter than me.
Sorry,
Yeah.
why don't you play bloody Johnny Evans? Play Johnny Evans.
Yes, Jeff.
So what I'd say to what you're saying is, when Maguire's in there, we might as well play him because we got Onana to play short passes out of the back. Nobody wants Maguire to do that, but 90% of the passes Onana played out tonight were kicks up the field. So if we're going to do that, we might as well put him in defense.
Yeah, any come back to that, Mr. B?
Not one. I'm not having Maguire in the team. I can't. What Jeff said makes sense, but I'm still not having Maguire in the team.
All right, but Mr. B, you agree that there needs to be a change made in that defence, surely?
Yeah, I think the problem is we can't make the change. We've got Amrabat in, and all of us here, all of us in the channel, all of us wanted to see him in midfield. Now, because of situations beyond Ten Hag's control, he hasn't been able to play midfield. Now, come next week, what are we going to be waiting until Shaw and Malacia come back before we can play a half decent defense? I mean, he might not last that long. We've lost 5 out of 7 games. He might not be here that long. The press are going to be out for. They're going to have the knives out for him. You know what I mean? And the only way to stop it is to win. And these players don't look like they want to win.
Well, just before I bring Stuart in, Amonde's written something, and I don't know what that means, but hello,
Yeah,
Amonde.
he's vexed. He's pissed. Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's pissed.
Stuart, like backstage, we were talking about the atmosphere in Old Trafford, and I mean, you sit in the upper stand of the Stretford end. What's the general feeling towards Ten Hag and the team at the moment from fans?
Well, obviously, even after Brighton, after Palace on Saturday, Ten Hag still got 99% of the backing at Old Trafford. But obviously, the big census is that he's losing players in the dressing room, and we know once that happens, I personally can't see him being here by Christmas. I cannot see things getting better. It's not just the players. You can't blame the players. Can't blame the Glazers. Everyone says this. Everyone says that. It's the whole club. We keep saying it's from top to bottom. The whole club is rotten. It really is, and it pains me. I've been going to Old Trafford for 35 years now, half time, and this is a low. This is when before Fergie started in the late 80s. This is how bad it is. It really is.
Okay, well, let's hear from the comments before we get into like the nitty gritty. We've got Amonde, who can't be with us tonight, saying, respect guys for showing up unlike this team. Ain't seen the game, but another L ain't the one. Amonde, you're going to go spare when you see the third goal. And it's Super Nick back again. As much as we want him to succeed, do any of you think the lack of structure in cohesion in the team is too much for ETH to manage? Jeff? Agree.
He can't overcome what's happening. I think he sees. I mean, he was shaking his head tonight after the first goal. They panned to him, and he's just staring down the pitch, shaking his head, because he knows that that started in midfield and ended badly in a one-on-one. As much as I like him, and I liked when they made the appointment, I liked how ruthless he was last year. He's lost all of that. They did not give him the players he wanted, and he's just kind of thrown in the towel.
You think he's throwing in the towel?
I can't think of any other reason that he's running out the squads that he is without making changes.
Wow. Shit. Like, yeah, that's shocking from a very level-headed man. But Solo is asking to get the likes up, which would be nice. And DN Vlogs is saying now we don't have Casemiro probably for 3 games in the Champions League. If someone
Wasn't
could
it 2 yellows?
I thought it was 2 yellows, so is that 2 games?
It's
yes,
one.
Jeff.
Should be 1, but I'll double check.
It's one.
Jeff, how close was Casemiro to getting like a straight red for his challenge?
No. What happened was Dries Merton did a very smart thing. He knew Casemiro he felt him on his left, and he knows that Casemiro goes to ground every time. So Dries pulled the ball back with his right foot and let Casemiro take his legs instead of pushing the ball out in front of him. Because if he had done like all other strikers do and tried to do that little push to the front of himself to set up for the shot, Casemiro would have got the ball. But Dries pulled the ball back with his right and let his legs be taken.
Casemiro was getting nowhere near that ball, regardless of what the striker did.
Well, again, his legs were so far past him. If he had pushed the ball forward, he may have gotten a toe on it. But he got all legs because Dries leaned into him.
Okay, and Amonde say, yeah, boy, that's right, bath time. Bring back Harry, hashtag. And for all my social media fans, you'll notice Amonde's put the hashtag in the wrong place. And then Felix is saying, Onana should go to the AFCON ASAP. Nice.
Might do us a favour.
This is a good question, Mr. B. How many games has Ten Hag left?
I would like to think that he has got the whole of the season. The thing is, are the performances that bad that we can't turn the things around. I think I know injuries are killing us. I really, really think injuries are killing us, and I'm just not sure he's going to be around to get the full, the Shaw back, the Martinez back. I mean, what's that? 3 months? That's Christmas. Jesus Christ. He could be gone. He could be gone by Christmas. He could be gone by Christmas.
But he could be gone earlier, Stuart.
Who would have thought at the start of the season, before the Wolves game, or even after the Wolves game, even though we won, who would have thought then that we'd be sitting here tonight talking about, is Ten Hag going to be leaving by Christmas? After what he achieved with this shambles of a club last season, which was unbelievable in my opinion, to sit here talking tonight, is Ten Hag going to last till Christmas, is just unbelievable. It really is.
I mean, our chat are like they're reactionary and they can be very silly about stuff. But a lot of the chatters, like sort of Zoe, Big T, Andrew Williams, were all talking about the quality of signings coming in and how they didn't think they're at the requisite level, and that since there were Ten Hag signings, a bit like the way that Ollie was kind of hung out to dry on Maguire, like when you get in sort of Mounts and Antonys, that you're kind of you're digging your own grave with those kind of players.
You're judged by your signings.
Yeah.
I like Mason Mount. I think he will come good, but you don't get. We all know you don't get time in football, and time is of the essence at the moment. So we'll have to see for that one.
All right. Well, Colm has come in and said that he wants Maguire in. He wants Delo at left back and Lindelof at right back, so Amrabat can play in the midfield. Mr. B, you're not a fan of Maguire. Would you be comfortable with that?
I don't know what I think at the moment. I'll be honest. I don't know what I think at the moment. Bath time.
That's all right.
I'm still trying to assess what I've just seen, and I've seen Maguire play, and I just don't think he's the answer. I'll be honest. I don't think he's the answer. Without being disrespectful to him, his style was wrong for Ten Hag in the beginning. Ten Hag wanted him out. He had the option to play him today, to start him today, and he didn't start him. So I don't think he's anywhere near it, to be fair.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think Lindelof should have been dropped for his performances. And I was very surprised not to see Evans or Maguire starting. But Andrew is asking a different question here. Casemiro, he's not doing it so far this year. Where is he holding us together? So what's going on with Casemiro, Jeff?
He has no cover. First 25 minutes tonight, he was pinging balls about because he had Hannibal and Mount were doing all the running, and he got to lay in there in between the center backs, and he would take the ball out, ping the ball around pretty good. When they over attack and get caught on the counter, he's exposed.
Right. So you think it's a structural issue with transitions?
I do.
Okay. Stuart, you go to games. I call Casemiro a big pudding because I think that he lacks a lot of mobility. Have you seen anything different this year to last year?
Yeah, obviously performances, but it's the old adage: people keep blaming this player, blaming that player. It's a team game. Amount of abuse Rashford was getting on Saturday was incredible, to be honest. And you can't keep singling out players all the time. It's a team effort. Ten Hag's putting the team on the pitch, but it's down to these guys to do it. But they're not doing it. So is it the manager? But then we said the same about Ollie. We said the same about Van Gaal, Mourinho. So we can't keep chopping and changing managers. It's the 11 players on the pitch.
Right. Okay. So you're blaming it on a lack of application or a lack of understanding from the players.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
There's no passion. There's nothing there.
All right.
Can I comment on that?
Of course.
Okay. So, and everything that comes to my mind is these players can take all the abuse they want in the stadium. They still get in their Bentley and drive to their mansion when they're done.
Yeah.
You think the fact?
Jeff, sorry, quickly. Jeff, that's one of the reasons I didn't go tonight. I said to the missus, I have an 8-hour round trip that I do every home game, but I'm I'm not wasting another penny at the moment until these players start showing a bit. Yeah, they did up until about the 60th minute tonight, but I'm not wasting my hard-earned money to go and watch that shite, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, from my point of view, what I'm seeing from Ten Hag is a system that relies on intensity and winning your 1v1s in defence. I think that in every game so far this season, we've actually been really good at winning the ball up the pitch. Like it hasn't really led to like shooting chances or shots on goal, and that's okay because it's a new system and it takes a while to get used to things like a counter press. In my experiences of a player, it generally took me about 3 months to understand how to do a lot of these things. But the problem is that we've got Lindelof, who's not particularly strong. Tonight we saw Delot got beaten up by Zaha for the goal. We've got Varane, who had one of his worst performances in a United shirt this evening. So I want to talk about like some of the players tonight, and I'll give you their names, and I want like a sort of statement from them. So Mr. B, Marcus Rashford. He had an assist.
He had an assist, but the chance that he didn't take. I mean, we say Rashford should be playing with his head up. He should be looking to play the player in. It was a crap pass bath time. Bruno had no chance of getting that ball where Rashford had put the pass in. So I think he was probably scared to miss and hoped that the pass would make the player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like, I mean, to me, when I saw it, I thought it was probably a combination of criticism that Rashford, or well, let's call it feedback. Feedback Rashford has received from the coaches and a lack of confidence. Like, I know Rashford last season leathers that. Like, absolutely know that. And then you look
bottom left-hand corner.
Absolutely. And then he's pointing at his temple and it's all fun and games. But you look at the difference between him and Rasmus Højlund. Højlund, when he scored that offside goal, like he's such a lad. He was like celebrating like Eric Cantona. He's a 19-year-old and he's got, about 15 Champions Leagues jumping all around him and he doesn't care. He's the man. So, Stuart, what like Rashford, he's become a bit of a bête noire at the moment and under a lot of criticism. What did you think?
Rashford, well, the first time he's actually passed tonight, obviously it was dreadful because everyone's been on his case all season. He gets his positions, he cuts in the edge of the box, and until he loses it. But it's every game. Palace Saturday, there's 2 or 3 times he should have passed it, and that's obviously why the fans are getting frustrated. Yeah. And just before I come to you, Jeff, I've seen someone who I think is new called Beefy Mario with an amusing profile picture. Saying, what's more likely, we sign 60 bad players over 10 years or we sign 5 bad managers over 10 years who ruin the players? What's more likely? This is like Schrodinger's cat. It could be either with Manchester United. It's just that we're... No?
Could be both.
Well, yeah, that's what Schrodinger's box is. But Jeff, what? All right, let's talk about Højlund, Rashford up front. What did you think?
I think Højlund was a beast tonight. The way he showed his strength, the way he was holding players off, he was holding the ball up, he was looking for passes. He actually had his head up looking for runners running off of him several times, and people were watching him dribble with the ball. So I thought he put in a good performance. Rashford, he did some things per normal when he was on the left. He was wide open and running free on the right. Why they didn't, and this is part of that in-game management we keep talking about, if he had just moved him over to the right, taken Bruno off when he was bad, put Garnacho in on the left, I think it would have changed the entire game. Yeah, he had one bad pass across, but he's not been used to passing across. But he had the whole right side when he was there. Every time they looked up for a ball and he was there and he ran onto it and was just off to the races down the right. The left, they put in the guy that they wanted to mark him on the left-hand side, and he was beating Rashford up. But as soon as he went to the right, he had his run of the match.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting that we've been hearing a lot of reports that Ten Hag and his staff are extremely unhappy with Rashford's body language. And in the second half, Eriksen played a pass out that Rashford didn't chase, and then he put his head down and shrugged, and he was instantly hauled off for Garnacho. Like they made this, they were ready to make the sub there. So we'll just look at some comments before we get to the midfield. Andrew is saying football is played mentally, even more than physically. He, being Rashford, has the physical gifts, but winners are mentally strong. He is not that. I agree with that, Stuart. Like, what are your thoughts?
What was that, sorry?
He's saying Rashford's a bottler, and that he's got every technical gift, but not the mentality.
100%. His mental state is all over the place. And I think Saturday, Brentford, he's got to be benched. And I think, to be honest, I think he will be benched Saturday.
Yeah, okay. And Box, Mr. B, is asking what do they do on a daily basis in training? Because it ain't bloody defending, I can tell you that.
I don't know what they do. Obviously, they're not there long enough. They're not long. Whatever they're doing, they're not there long enough to learn it.
Yeah.
I mean, all you see in training, I was laughing and joking on social media. So you know, it can't be all that bad what's going on, because they're always laughing in training.
I'm pleased we got rid of the winning team. Do you remember that? Like, where they used to post like who won the five-a-side, like just piss off, you losers. Yeah. And Box is saying something here that I agree with, is that Rashford, he's losing a lot of physical battles. I saw him get bodied by Saka. He looks unbalanced to me, and maybe that's something we can get to later. And Zoe is sticking up a bit for Rashford here, saying there's much worse players in the team, like Bruno. And tonight we're joined by one of Bruno's biggest fans, being Jeff. So Jeff, I want you to tell me about the good, the bad, and the ugly, Mount, Casemiro, and Bruno.
Okay, Mount, Casemiro, and Bruno. I thought Mount was, I'll start with the good. I thought he was excellent at pressing and counter-pressing tonight. I think he still got beat up a little bit in the midfield because he just doesn't have the physical attributes. But he did get stuck in a lot, which was good. But his pressing was not countered with someone dropping back, which is where we had a lot of the opening behind the mids. With Casemiro being isolated at that point. Bruno. So Bruno's my favorite player, but after the Rabona pass, I wanted to take him off. If he slides a left-footed pass across there, Højlund turns on his left boot and has a shot. But the Rabona, he had to bring the pass in and then try to work off of it. If he'd have just slid the ball across him, he would have been able to turn and have a left-footed shot. So I was ready to bring Bruno off after 20 minutes.
Do you think that he might be being played out of position out on the right wing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's not going to move him off the right wing and put him in the 10 or even the 8, then take him off the pitch, because he does not play well on the right wing.
Okay. Stuart, let's come to you. The midfield: Bruno, Mount, Casemiro, and Mabry, as I forgot.
Well, I won't slag off Bruno because, like Jeff, I'm one of his biggest fans. Will he be dropped? I don't think he will be dropped. Not just because he's the captain now. Casemiro. He had no choice what he done to get the red card. Mason Mount impressed. Like Jeff said, his pressing wasn't the greatest, but I think Mason Mount will come good and he will become a United legend. You've heard it here first.
A legend?
I think so. I love Mason Mount. I think he's a great player. But
in what position, Stuart?
Yeah. In his position. And obviously, you look at Amrabat still playing left back. I know we've got injuries, but what the hell is he putting Amrabat left back? There's other defenders there who can do that job. Amrabat's got to start centre mid Saturday or with Casemiro or whatever he wants to do. But there's other players who can come in and do a job, and a lot better than what some of the players are doing at the moment. So play them in the right positions for starters.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Stuart, Mr. B, where I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from Mason Mount. I think that every game he's played, he's attacked the channels well. He's defended the channels well. His fitness, his off the ball running. He doesn't hide. He gets involved. He puts a tackle in. He's really impressed me in the games that we've played. But judging by your face, you're not impressed by anything like Shania Twain. So what do you reckon? what do you think to the midfield this evening?
I didn't realise he was that quick. I didn't realise he was that quick. There was a time when he tracked a player down the right hand side, and I thought, "Ooh, he's quick." The stuff that Mason Mount is good at, the rest of the team don't compliment him doing it. If he goes to press, Højlund will press, but that's two. Rashford doesn't want to press. Rashford has no interest in him. Bruno presses, but he runs the wrong side of the player. Like he doesn't run in, so he's facing a player to pass. He's like he just runs straight at him. You already know the ball, but he'll make the run because he's captain and he has to make the run. But he's not doing anything with the run. We've got too much players who don't want to play how Ten Hag wants to play. But I still believe what does he want to do going forward? Is it 3-3-1-6 or 3-2-5 or whatever it is? I think he needs to work that out so that we've got an extra player back, because it being Casemiro is killing us. It being Casemiro is absolutely killing us. You lot are talking about getting Amrabat into central midfield. That's all well and good, but somebody else needs to play at left back. We need to play somebody at left back, or change the formation and go with 3 centre backs.
But Mr. B, sorry, Stuart. Oh, okay. Go on.
Quickly, I'd play Lindelof left back Saturday. That's it. Sorry, that's it.
Would you?
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Who would you play then? Amrabat cannot play left back Saturday. Not a chance. No way.
I think if Reguilon is back, I'd stick him in. I would genuinely prefer Johnny Evans at left back to Lindelof, because Johnny Evans respects the channel. But one big problem we have is that like a lot of times we talk about like the relationship between centre halves, like Vidic and Ferdinand, stuff like that. One would go, one would stay. They had a great understanding. In modern football, it's equally as important to have that understanding with your fullback. And I think that we will see Amrabat and Lindelof start, because at least they've got minutes together. And I know that like 2 of the goals came through that channel this evening, so something needs to be addressed. But they started making chances when Hannibal Mabry came off, and there was no running to help support. So Amrabat at left back was going out too quickly and was leaving a massive space that Eriksen or Casemiro should be covering. Lindelof steps into it, and then there's that big hole.
Just quickly, half time. Does anyone know the latest with Reguilon? Because obviously the 2-3 games he has played, he's been one of our best players. What I've seen anyway.
He's supposed to be back. He's supposed to be back for the Brentford game.
All right. Well, we need to do the comments, Jeff. Sorry. Go on quickly.
Defense. Again, I don't understand why we're not at least trying three center backs and playing wing backs, since our fullbacks are playing all the way up and down the touchlines anyway. Why not go into a more defensive mid with Amrabat, Casemiro, and have Mount and whoever else on the outside running the whole way anyway?
Okay, we'll get to that after the comments. So DN Vlogs, hi Daniel, is saying exactly, Andrew. We need to back him. Ollie had this, then we let him go. Same with Mourinho, and now fans are slowly turning on Erik ten Hag.
Do you know
Stay with him. Yes, Mr. B.
I'm not going to turn. I'm not going to turn.
Margaret Thatcher.
I think he's the best thing that's happened to the club in ages. He's working with the mess that's above him. He's working with the mess that he's had to deal with this season. He didn't. I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, he got the money." Maybe he got the money. He didn't get it at the time that he wanted. And if you think about the Amrabat deal, this is the one that burns me the most. We sold all of those youth players for 750 grand each to fund an Amrabat loan for a year.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I think that we would 1,000,000,000% should have kept Elanga. I think Elanga was the only player who had the fitness and the experience to be able to play twice a week for 90 minutes and keep the pressure on Rashford. Like, if Rashford wasn't starting, I think that Elanga would be straight in. I don't know about Garnacho, like if he can last 90 minutes, but Elanga could. But anyway, I've got to do these comments. So Big T, with another of his fun facts, is that we could have signed a player a lot cheaper a year ago. Now, Box is saying that Ten Hag needs to make some ruthless calls, and soon. He will be thrown under the bus very soon, so he might as well go out swinging. I think we all agree with that. And Andrew is saying Mount's a good player and an excellent presser, but we're not really a pressing team. I don't know. We are winning the ball up the pitch a lot. Like, I think that's quite good. And then Box is calling for Mount, Hannibal, and Amrabat as the midfield three. So he's dropping Bruno, Eriksson, Casemiro basically versus Brentford. I wonder if there's enough height in that midfield three. And then Rashford does not want to press, does not want to pass, and now he doesn't want to shoot. And then Box wants Delot, Maguire, Varane, and Evans as a back four, with Delot at left back and Evans at right back. Andrew Williams, who sanctioned the Brandon Williams loan?
Apparently, they were saying that that loan was sanctioned 4 hours before, so it had been signed off like 4 hours before whoever got injured or Shaw got injured, or they found out Shaw was injured or something. So I think that deal had been done. I mean, again, Brandon Williams, we're talking about Brandon Williams. We saw Brandon Williams play. He wasn't good enough to be a Manchester United player.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but it's about bodies, isn't it? There's not enough cover across the squad, and we've got a lot of games to play. We're meant to be competitive in a lot of competitions this season, and like Ten Hag's rotation is becoming an issue. And Andrew is talking about Mbueno. He'll be a tough task for most left backs, and I agree with him. We've got to be defending really well in our wide areas against Brentford. Mbueno will put in a good performance versus us, because versus 10-man Forest he had an atrocious second half. That's the way it goes, isn't it? Brentford not quite firing, but they've got some class. We'll talk about Brentford on Friday evening. And Alex Tutler is saying, do you think we could do what Mourinho used to do playing against the big teams and play 3-8s for the midfield? So I suppose that would be dropping Casemiro and playing Hannibal, Mount, and Bruno, or Eriksson, Bruno, and Mount. I don't see it myself.
You know what? I'm not sure. Ten Hag, he's used to dominating, so I'm not sure his style is suited to being more defensive. If you see what I mean, he's always, he was at Ajax. They were always dominating games, And sorry, I've just seen a comment from SA10. ONANA 27. Oh my god!
Can we get one of our fact checkers? I thought it was 19 goals myself. But yeah, I mean, look, we got Felix saying drop ONANA and Rashford. Andrew I think he's talking about Ten Hag here. I've not turned on him. I've always known we're still rotten to the core. Like Stuart was saying, backroom staff, players, owners. But he has to be questioned for his bad signings. And I think this is where we're going to turn to ONANA and the performance of our goalkeeper this evening. So first off, let's start with you, Mr. B. Did De Gea need to go?
Yeah, I thought towards the end, he wasn't making saves. He was making a lot of errors, and I do believe he needed to go. Yes. Did he need to go this season? is more the part that I'm more thinking about. I think we probably could have done. You probably could have played another season, but obviously Ten Hag is obsessed, because if you look at how much times they pass the ball back to Onana when he plays, they use him a lot, and I think they're overusing him in that regard. Sometimes play the ball bloody forwards. No, you want to pull teams out and you want to move it, but with Onana, teams just stay where they are. They don't try and press him. They did to Galatasaray. To be fair, Galatasaray did today. But normally the Prem teams, they're not pressing him. They're leaving him to kick it and waste the ball, and then they go in again. So, we're in trouble, man. We are in big trouble, man.
All right, Jeff. Did we need to get rid of De Gea? Yep.
No.
Just straight.
I wanted to keep De Gea and bring Onana in, and I think if we had done that, De Gea would already be back to being our starter.
That's very expensive. Like De Gea with a signing on fee, $25,000 a week, 250 even.
We spend money recklessly already. It's a little more
wicked. All right, now so we've got 3 people, including myself, who think that it was right for De Gea to move on. Stuart, I think that you would have kept De Gea, would you not?
100%.
100%. Okay. Like, you weren't worried about... Yeah, you weren't worried about the passing and stuff.
Look, we can sit all night and talk about distribution for goalkeepers. Football's changed with goalkeepers. They've got to be good ball players now, which Onana is. But is he? I mean, the amount of mistakes he's making, some of the goals he's conceded, De Gea probably would have... You know, we can sit here all night, bar time, and weigh out the pros and cons. I've always loved David De Gea. Yeah, towards the end of last season, he was... Well, last couple of seasons, he's been making a lot of mistakes. But the whole bloody team are... It's not, you know, it's the old adage, stop singling out players. It's a team game. But yeah, cut a long story short, De Gea should have stayed, in my opinion.
All right. Okay.
About time. I'm amazed at the lack of reach. I saw it, I went to preseason at the Real Madrid game. I saw him warming up, and his arms are very long, but when he dives, it's like his shirt's too tight or something. He's got alligator arms or T-Rex arms. I mean, he's just not getting to the ball.
Yeah, this is the next bit I was going to ask, is that with the common complaints about De Gea, it was on the ball, not playing in a high line, so, just staying on his 6-yard box and not collecting crosses. With Onana, have we seen him like commanding the box, collecting crosses?
I'd say yes.
Oh, okay. Stuart?
But, I mean, I've not seen a ball get past him that he's gone for.
What about the goal against Palace at the weekend? That went past our entire team.
Oh, yeah, okay. That got past everybody.
Yeah. Mr. B, is Onana the keeper that you were promised?
Oh. No.
Is it time to take him out?
Yes. I think he should be taken out of the firing 100%.
Yeah.
Wow, is that 3 yeses? Like Jeff and Stuart?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
This early in his career?
Look, bar time, look. Again, just quickly, it's not Onana's fault, it's not Rashford's, but we've lost 5 out of 7. This has not happened for 37 odd years. So where does the buck stop? Where does the buck stop?
Well, the thing is, Stuart, right, is that last season we had a really good defence, right? I know we got smacked up a few times, but we had a really, really good defence, and they were there like hugging and kissing after stopping the ball going in. But that defence was one of the lowest in the league in terms of where they were playing up the pitch. Are we basically making a mistake playing this high up, relying on a midfield press and then Casemiro in the centre? Is that the real problem? Or is it, as Jeff says, that Onana's shirt is too tight and he has like Jurassic arms? Tell me.
It is the problem. What you just said. First bar side. That's the main problem.
Too high up the pitch.
Too high up the pitch. It's obviously not working. So he needs to change it, and fast. Because if he doesn't, results keep going like they are, then he will be out of a job. There's no two ways about it.
So just a follow-up question to that, Stuart, before I get to the comments. Does Bayindir, if he come in, does he actually make that much of a difference if the issue is we're playing too far up the pitch?
No, probably not.
So, but you're dropping ONANA.
I know nothing about Bayindir, to be honest. I know absolutely jack about him. Obviously, we've got Tom Heaton as well, but he's just a Carabao Cup fella, isn't he? But is dropping ONANA the answer? Will it doing good? Who knows? We'll find out Saturday.
All right, we'll just do some comments.
We also need to find out if we have a backup keeper because ONANA's going to AFCON.
Yeah, but that's
Bayindir.
I mean, Ten Hag might be going to AFCON with him, the way things are going. So Daniel DN Vlogs is saying, start Bayindir on Saturday, and hopefully Reguilon is back, so Amrabat can play in midfield. I've got to say, I was very, very unimpressed with Amrabat tonight. I don't think his first touch is good enough to play.
But you know what? I until he plays in his position, I'm not going to fault his touch. Yeah, you could say that his touch he should have that control all over the pitch, but I feel that he's being asked to do regularly things that he's not used to doing. So until he gets into central midfield, I think that's more when the one thing he will have is he's going to have his bloody fitness back. I tell you, that won't be an issue when he goes into central midfield. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, Box is saying we needed a new goalkeeper, 100%. Also, if you're watching the show after the game, after the broadcast is finished, and you're absolutely livid with the drivel that I've been speaking, you can send messages to our Twitter and have a go at me there. And then Big T is saying, is De Gea better in the Premier League than ONANA? Is the true question, and the answer is yes. So he's ONANA out. We need progress. Why would you keep De Gea? I agree with Box there, and feel free to jump in on the comments, lads. If he went, I'd have taken Raya, and I completely agree with Andrew here on the basis that Raya is the most dominant goalkeeper in the air in the Premier League, and if you have Martinez and Lindelof in your team, that takes a hell of a lot of pressure off your back line. Raya was the one that I wanted.
I'd have been happy with Raya.
Yeah. But were you happy with ONANA, Jeff?
Again, like I said, from what I watched in the so once his name started being bandied about, I watched the end of the season for Inter and I watched the Champions League, and I thought he was going to do well. But I don't think we have the players that support the way he plays.
Anthony Herbert is coming in with one of his joke book questions, Mr. B, saying, why do you have a picture of Stuart behind you?
Oh, you know what, Anthony? I'm not even. Anthony, you're a funny guy, but today's not the day, man. I just can't. They
lost as well.
The day.
Yeah, they did.
Arsenal lost.
You know what I said? I didn't even know. I'll be honest. I had no idea. The way he was in the chat, I thought that they won, but it doesn't matter. They've already got 3 points already, so it makes no difference.
Okay, Andrew's following up with Andrew was a massive fan of David De Gea, but Tariq is in the house, and I don't think I've seen Tariq before, but he's saying that Altay needs a chance, and I think that's Bayindir, and yes. I agree. I think he should have played against Palace, to be perfectly honest. Oh no. We shipped 4 to Brighton, 4 to Brentford, 7-6, 5-4-3 with De Gea in the last few years. Let's not rewrite history. Let's also not revisit some of those games. And it's time for Heaton to come out and reclaim his throne. The once and future king. Bayindir is in the mould of David De Gea. He likes shop stopping, doesn't like playing ball or sweeping. At the moment, I'm all right with just a shot stopper, to be honest. We need to get back to basics. And something about Bellingham. Actually, I can't say that. I was going to say that I'm on FIFA 23. I like doing investments, and I've bought a lot of Tony Cruises because of how I think Bellingham is going to get Player of the Month. And then Henderson would have been better than Onana. Okay, so we're just going to finish up now with our final thoughts. So, Jeff, as our guest and our resident ref, where do we go from here?
I think he needs to make some serious changes. He needs to look at a defensive change. I think we need to sit deeper in the midfield and maybe even sit back and counter a little bit. See if we can get our groove back.
So are you saying like back to basics, play to the strengths of the players?
Correct.
Stuart.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore, to be honest, half time. I really don't.
Well, you're not going to Old Trafford anymore, so we know that.
I'll probably still be there Saturday. I don't know. It's the old adage. You've got to take it game by game because let's face it, top four's gone. Anyone thinks we're going to get top four this season is ludicrous. I don't know. You've got to take it game by game at the moment. Try and get on a couple of winning streaks and see what happens.
Yeah, Mr. B. I know it's not Maguire, but where do we go from here? How do we change this?
I think Ten Hag needs to look at himself a bit in regards to how he set the team up, what he expects the team to do once they score a bloody goal. I think there's a lot of I think he needs going back to basics probably would help. But then going back to the strengths, that's counter-attack football. We didn't want counter-attack football. We wanted, possession-based dominance. So what we're going to be, we're happy to go back to counter-attack football for the rest of the season as long as it gets our results. And then what happens next season now? Because he's trying to buy players who can keep hold of the football.
Yeah. All right. We're just going to finish with this last question. I want one-word answers only, boys. Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out.
In.
Jeff?
In.
Okay. All right. So we're going to finish the show here. Thank you so much to our guest Stuart and to Jeff. Where can we find you, gents?
Go ahead, Stuart.
I'm on Instagram, Red Devil Stew 75. I'm on Facebook, obviously Stuart Marshall. I'm not on Instagram, been banned for life.
Why?
Yeah, so I had a big row with the Scouts and it got a bit too heated, and some things were said.
That's not an XL bully, is it? That's a beautiful dog.
It is. I've got 8 of them here at the moment.
Well, get them in our midfield.
Yeah, probably do a better job, wouldn't they?
Okay, Jeff, where can we find you?
Instagram at Muddy Frog Gigger, and then you can find me at Jeff V at _TMUA on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and then guest appearances here on the Manchester United Agenda.
Great stuff, Mr. B. Where can we find you? In depression, I suspect.
Yeah, hiding in my cave, boy. I'm going to be in my cave for the next few days, boy. I tell you.
Okay, well, I think tomorrow night on the United Agenda, we might do a special on what needs to happen, what needs to change, and so on. So, send your questions in on Twitter. Yes, Jeff.
One question for you: did you have any question about any of the calls today?
What, the referee calls?
Yeah.
One thing that I am quite concerned about is how often Amrabat does deliberate handballs.
Yes, it's concerning me as well. He's going to get a reputation. He's going to start getting a lot of cards.
He done one Saturday against Palace.
He did 3. He did 3, Stuart.
3.
And
he attempted one to ban.
Yep.
Yeah, he attempted one today when he got fouled and he was falling over and putting his arm
it's
out.
just there was a lot of
Maybe-
people in the comments today that were wondering why Casemiro got his first yellow, and it's because his cleats were
Just stick
flat
him in goal
showing.
because stick Amrabat in goal. He said he'd play anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
likes using his hands.
All right, boys. Mr. B needs to be fed, right? We've got to end, and I've got to look for the outro, which I found. So thank you so much to everyone watching. I know it was a disappointing night. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9:00. Get your questions in, and I hope that you can find some solace in your day tomorrow. So from all of us at United Agenda, good night and good luck.
Night, y'all.